got Gary Johnson and Paul Baker here. Gary, you're here for 2 years. You've signed. How did you come to that decision? Because you weren't sure last time we spoke to you what was going to happen.
Well, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was sure that I was happy with the environment of this type of club that I enjoy managing. And the only worry was, obviously you didn't know quite where the board was with that. We had a fantastic meeting the other day.
Really good meeting.
Whenever it was, Tuesday I think. And really that sort of told me that the board had the sort of same ambitions that I've got, and that's to create a club that has that winning environment with committed people. And if you've got that, then you've got a chance. And I was pleased to hear that. I put over my ideas, they put over their ideas, and if they match, then you know that there's a chance of having your quality of life for the next couple of years.
I mean, you mentioned you want committed people there. You felt some people this season haven't been as committed as they should. So what happens now? You review who's the playing staff?
Yeah, of course you do. You review. The good thing is that I've spent sort of a honeymoon period, if you like. Not a very pretty lady I was honeymooning with, but anyway, because we knew that things obviously weren't right because the club was bottom of the table for whatever reason. But it was good that I was able to see the club and see the committed ones and the uncommitted ones. And the one thing I am is truthful with everybody. I'll be truthful if I think someone's not quite pulling their weight. Sometimes you can't go public with names, especially when it's players, because people see it as a bit of bullying and all that sort of thing. But certainly after a few weeks people know who it is that I'm either referring to, or people were not here long under my regime. And we had to move out what I felt was the uncommitted, and there's still some that will be changed, of course. And the whole thing's got to change. I think we all agree that we want the supporters to understand why the manager's brought in certain players, why he's left out certain players, and people have got to know that we're going to demand a lot, because just because we got relegated doesn't mean to say that we've got to drop our standards. We've got to up our standards, and that's exactly what the chairman feels.
Is there a chance for any of the players who haven't impressed you have they still got a chance to change your mind?
It's a bit late now. There'll be some trying to change our minds now, but the club's been relegated sort of thing, and Leopards don't change their spots generally long term. They might for the short term in the hope of getting a job, but I look deeper than that, and they've got to be naturally committed people, and people that will commit to the cause, and that's what I like. And then we all enjoy having people that are committed to the cause that we're going to set out.
So, going into the game against Wimbledon this weekend, how much can you take from that game? What are you sort of looking to get from this game?
Well, this game, all games matter, of course, anyway. But this game, we've got to probably have a look at 2 or 3 that we haven't looked at. It'd be interesting to see some of the young lads, see how close they are. So I hope people don't mind me doing that, but that's probably going to be more beneficial to us than to play people that are possibly not going to be here for the next campaign. So I'd like to have a look at them and give them the opportunity. I have done since people like Harry and Bobby and have come back from their loans. And it'd be good to see whether they can actually handle the big time, as it were.
And then after this game, it's summer. What are you going to be doing this summer? Are you going to be off on your holidays for a bit, or are you focusing on this straight away?
The chairman said I'm not allowed holidays. But even if I'm on holiday, to be honest, wherever I am, I'll be bumping into players, and I'll be calling players, and it's 24 hours a day now till the season starts, because we got to recruit right. We got to get the right recruitment for this club's new personality. and that's what we got to do. And I know a lot of players that have worked with me. Some handle it, some don't. The ones that did handle it will be on the phone to me, I'm sure, and I'm sure we'll have a group of players that will be competitive at this level and the next, because you've always got to get in players for 2 levels if you can, and then you have that chance of building on that first group so that they're going to be close enough to have that double promotion. That's the ideal. That's what you've got to aim for. So the 2 years is really to see how far you can go in 2 years, as opposed to building for the 1 level over 2 years. You know what I mean? I don't think either of us want to wait that long before we get back into the Football League.
Great. James?
Paul, you said on Saturday that you wanted to get this done quickly. Did you ever really believe that you get it done by the Wednesday of the following week?
I think where there's a will, there's a way. And for me, we needed to move quickly because player recruitment is the reason why we are where we are. And player recruitment will tell us how successful we're going to be next year. So next season starts now. This isn't the end of this season, this is the start of next season. So it's really, really important to get Gary in. And I think there are a lot of bonuses actually. And Gary's had a really, really good look at what he's got. So he's not coming in cold, he's not coming in with a month to go to the start of the season. He's seen all the facilities, he's got to know the staff and the director, his own management team. So it's really important that the management team is sort of all together. And I'm confident that will be, but I think you look at Gary's track record and his experience with the Oval in the conference as well, to be fair, but at all levels, national as well. So it's a fantastic CV that he's got, so I think we're chuffed to bits to get him on board. I was concerned, he was supposed to ring me yesterday morning. I didn't get the call till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I was thinking, yeah, okay, who's he talking to? But there are reasons for that, so I was really, really delighted to get the call because we've got on well. Yeah, we need to kick on. We had a great board meeting on Monday where it's a difficult board meeting. We went through all the budgets and stuff so that we knew what playing budget and what management budget we've been able to give the new manager. We were able then to give that to Gary on the Tuesday to look over, so that when we met him on the Wednesday, I think it was, he had a good idea of what sort of budget he was going to be able to work with. And in fact his first reaction was, is that for a 5-a-side team? And that is reality, of the sort of budget we're looking at now. I mean, it's slightly more than a 5-a-side team, but that's the sort of reality compared to the monies we were getting in the Football League. But we've done our very, very best to give him the maximum possible player budget. That's what we'll be judged on next year.
And is the aim to bounce back, and do you feel that Gary is the right man to try and get that immediate bounce back? The
absolute aim is to bounce back. I mean, with the parachute payment, we'll have that additional money this year that we won't have the following year. And I think because we made the appointment early, we can build and have players in place, in good time for pre-season, and kick on in pre-season and hit the ground running, because the conference games start early. There's quite a few games early on in the season, so I think it's important to make a really, really good start. But I think the other thing about appointing Gary too soon was to send that message to the football supporters and fraternity in Gloucestershire that actually we're not just going to moan and groan and cry in our tea for the next 3 weeks. We're going to move on and get on with it. And so hopefully this sends out a really strong message. 2-year contract, a manager who's got some fantastic calibre and pedigree, and that will inspire fans and season ticket holders. And I've been checking the forums and I'm told I should never do it, but I do. And actually there was not one negative, which must be the first time in the last 20 years that when boards made a decision, there hasn't been one negative. There wasn't one negative response to the appointment, so that's a really good start. And people saying they're going to take season tickets out who haven't previously done that. So it's only 1 or 2 people, but actually it's the right message.
Yeah, and Gary, how easy was it, the decision to commit?
Well, it's only easy when you feel that the club's right for you. That you just feel right. I don't know what it is. Some clubs you go into, and I've turned clubs down in the past, and bigger clubs in the past. You just get a feel for a place, and the older you get, the more experience you get as to how you feel that you're going to get on with the board of directors, because that's very important. You've all got to be of the same thoughts, if you like, you look at the training ground, and there's certain things here that we've got to improve everything, that's for sure. I don't think we've got any doubts about that. There's little things we've got to improve on, but it's here. It's all here. What I need for my everyday work that I enjoy, and then I just need to get players in that. What they say, if you want to motivate players, get players that can be motivated, and that's really important. And also you've got to get players that enjoy playing football, because a lot of them enjoy being footballers but don't enjoy playing football. And we got to, but I've been around a little while, even though I don't look as I have. Sitting here next to the chair.
Same age.
No, never. You got to get those players in that know how you work, because the ones that enjoy our work enjoy working with me. The ones that I've had run-ins with over the past, they won't be on the phone, and I certainly won't be on the phone to them. But that's because they've got a different ethos to me.
Yeah, I think there's 8 or 9 players out of contract after Saturday. Have you already almost made your mind up on whether any will be getting contracts for next season?
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, I had to have a good look at it before I agreed to come here. It's going to be a little bit awkward with some, because you've got some in contract, of course, that you feel haven't really got a big future with the club. Some have. And we've got to make room to have a little bit of not a total clean sweep, because you're not going to be able to do that, but certainly you're going to need to bring in that player that is conducive to what you're looking for, and I want, the fans have had a little bit of a rough time this year in all, and I'd like to get them a team that they can see are committed and play with that desire, and also play with that football mentality. I want to be a football team in a conference and not a conference team in a conference. That's probably a little bit disrespectful to some of the teams, because they do play football, but that's how I got out of it previously, and that's how I'd like to do it. And I think fans enjoy teams playing football with that desire, and that's what I want to try and give them.
So some of the 14 that are currently in contract, you may be looking to sort of move on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
At the end of this, and I suppose you echo what the chairman said about it being the first game of next season.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Exactly,
almost.
that's exactly what it was. I mean, in my mind, we tried very hard to try and keep the team in the second division. It was always going to be a difficult job with the group that had been put together. Some of them are still and were second division standard. Some maybe a level higher, but some weren't. And you've got to be careful that you don't get that sort of journeyman really that goes around the clubs picking up yearly contracts, and then generally move on somewhere else. There's something not quite right about that. So we need committed players, and I think I know how to find them.
Do you think attracting them to Cheltenham won't be a problem, given that they've just gone out of the league? Do you back yourself to bring in the right?
Well,
the right
it might be for some,
yeah.
But there's going to be thousands of players out of work this year, and they're all going to need work. And I think, because I've worked with many of the boys that are out there over the years, over 20 odd years, I think there'll be enough out there that I can entice to Cheltenham Town Football Club, because Gary Johnson's here. Do you know what I mean? And they know that they've had a pass with me that's been successful. So hopefully we can entice a few like that. We also develop. This is a very, very good club for developing young players. So I'm hoping that even the 18, 19, 20-year-olds that still need developing will see it as an opportunity to get their game going, to have a bigger future, either with us or another club.
That's almost the identikit, is it, to bring in young, hungry players rather than sort of maybe experienced ones who have,
I think you've got to have
performed?
You've got to have a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think I don't think we've got. I think most people know there's not too many leaders in the club at the moment, and you need those leaders, and those leaders are not generally 19, 20 years old. They've got to be experienced people that have been around. And I always say, if you're going to war, you want to go to war with somebody who's already been there, and that's the experience that you need in a football club, and so you're going to need 3 or 4 of them, and then you have the young whippersnapper legs and energy around them. But that doesn't mean to say if they're old they haven't got that desire and ambition still. They're the players we've got to bring in.
Do you think you'll be able to read a bit into your team selection on Saturday as to?
No,
as
I wouldn't.
to,
I wouldn't.
as to
Well,
feature?
you can do it if you want,
Yeah.
unless you've got your head in the sand. It's that's a good reaction to me saying that. Well, thank you. It's something that people can read into it as and when. I do leave little cryptic messages for you, really, that if you start understanding me, you can definitely read between the lines, definitely. I don't think that's difficult. But you can't sue me because I won't be bringing up any names, you know what I mean? But that's important, that is, that Saturday, I've told you what the idea of it is to have a good look at some of the young lads, but they've got to have some of the experienced lads. Some of those experienced lads will be involved in my head for next season. And do you remember the Roy Keane one? Have you not turned that phone off? That's the second time, John, that phone's gone.
That's someone who's going to be doing some work at the ground for you.
Fair enough. So some of them will be involved in it, but I'll see. You know, the last game,
Yeah.
some people will be there trying to show me that they want to still be a part of it. Because, listen, it's still it's a football league club playing outside the football league now. That's what really how people have got to look at it.
And is the aim, your aim, to come straight back, use that parachute payment to the best of your ability? And
Yeah, if my aim was just to get a job somewhere, then I'd have signed a 10-year deal. Do you know what I mean? No, we got to work very hard as a chairman and a manager to make sure that the club gives itself every chance and its fans the chance to get back into that league. But it's a good opportunity now to sweep away all the old and just bring in a bit of a freshness, and I think everybody sort of needs that. I read the website sometimes as well to get a general idea of what's going on, and I think the fans need a bit of a pick-me-up, I think, and they'll get that if the team's showing them that it's giving 100% and getting results, of course, which is what you've got to do.
just finding it was, I think, 13 years since you won the conference. How
Really?
how sort of up to date are you on that league? Is it something that a lower league manager knows all about because of the potential resource that's in there
because
anyway?
that's where you have to recruit from sometimes, and I know the recruitment's key at any club, and I've kept in touch with the conference. I mean, I've worked for BT a few times doing a couple of conference games. The last one I did was only a month or so ago, Nuneaton and Kidderminster. That was live on Sky, and I was one of the co-commentators sort of thing. So, no, I keep a good watch in it, and I watch all. BT has now got a good coverage of the conference, Vanarama League, and I watch all those games. So, good question, and the answer is yes. I've kept right up to date with the conference.